This episode's made possible by New Masters Academy, the world's absolute #1 online art school in the entire galaxy. Click the link down below for a free 7-day trial. Thank you, New Masters Academy. I am deep in the annals of your mind. I am deep in the annals of your... Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe After Hours Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Vincent, a background designer for the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business, and whatever we feel like.
Now today we're going to talk about the great 2023 depression and how to survive it.
But before we get into it, make sure to touch, jingle, flick, all our bells and buttons, please and thank you.
Erect that little thumb in the corner over there. Have you seen our little mini documentary about making our new single, I'm Leaving? It is in our music channel. We will link it right here. It is us having literally the time of our lives.
Yes.
In the strangest way. So we hope you enjoy that extra piece of bonus content. Enjoy it, like it, savor it. We hope we make you smile at the very least, right?
Come hang out with us for like 18 minutes. Happy Monday. Good morning.
How do they look?
You look fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You look beautiful. It is well into fall. I'm having a grand old time. I'm experiencing seasons.
Seasons. It's nice and cozy here. So we hope you're getting cozy over there. So the holidays are coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And like you, like many of you, good Americans, we're thinking about what we're gonna buy for Christmas.
Friday.
Black Friday, baby. Capitalism. The capitalist holiday of Black Friday is upon us. So
yes.
Janet's making her wish list.
Yes.
And we know you are too. We see you eyeing that new computer part, that new video game,
that TV,
that new drawing equipment, music equipment that you've always wanted. We see you. We're the same.
So I wanted to talk about how I said that after the election it's going to get really bad economically, and I want to talk about how to save money. But first, before we do that dry, boring stuff, I guess, my weird money hacks and ability to save an abnormal amount of money. We want to talk about what we want to buy, because we're all very excited.
And we want to know what you want to buy too, because we know you are all very good Americans who are buying something at the end of the year.
Yes.
Even though you know very well how the economy is
going to be.
But it's good.
It's
good for
irresponsible today. It is actually very hard for me to participate in Black Friday properly because I'm such a cheapskate. It's a constant battle this time of year, whether to spend money or not spend money for me. But normally I'm able to withstand it. Most years I don't typically buy too much stuff. But this year we have a new house. Unfortunately, I have this problem. I don't like to indulge selfishly. Like, I don't like to buy clothes. I don't like to buy makeup. I would like all these things, actually. I appreciate nice things for myself, but I have a hard time justifying anything that isn't useful.
Right. I think you and I have a hierarchy of things that we buy.
Yes.
And clothing is way under there. way under there. Janet barely upgraded her wardrobe now, and most of it's from Target.
Yes. So this year I want to buy a lot of home things. Like, I want to upgrade these windows because it gets cold and these windows are just old and outdated, and I want to save money. See, even my purchases save money in the long run. I want to save money on electricity and gas and figure out a way to lower our bills even more.
Janet likes spending money to save money.
Yes. Yes. It's like preventative exercise.
Like against heart disease and stuff. I see.
I prevent myself from spending money in the future by spending money wisely in the present. This is a strange habit that I have learned from my parents, but I want I want new windows, and I want like smart home things. I want all the smart home things. I don't want a key to our house. I want the door to open with my fingerprint. And surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, it actually costs a lot for these like newfangled smart home things. And outside of that, I want like things that help me make YouTube videos easier. So I want like a private server, basically, like a personal cloud, so I can stop buying like several hard drives a year. I just like buy one that costs a lot of money. Again, saving money in the long run. Put a lot of money down so I don't have to ever do it until like 10 years from now.
But that way we can cancel our subscription to Dropbox
and stuff like that. That
or
just
the cloud.
Is ridiculous.
Right.
What do you want?
I'm like, you know, people we know like buying toys. Video games,
consoles, yeah.
Upgrading their PCs.
Yes.
I like buying music gear. And you can relate too, because you like to buy camera gear. And now you have, what do you call that? Home improvement.
Yes,
gas. We call it gas, gear acquisition syndrome. Everybody who likes buying gear understands this. It is a problem.
Imagine being an artist and a filmmaker and someone into woodworking. Like, all my hobbies are so expensive.
And you have like your dream item, right?
Yeah.
That like you pine over. Like, oh, I can't wait till the day that I get this camera or whatever. So for me, it's at this point I like buying microphones and compressors.
Microphones.
So I'm at this stage where I kind of have everything I need.
You say that every time.
How many times have I said this? At this point, I feel like I have everything I need. But I don't have like the mic for vocals. I have my bass mic. I have my, you know, miking my guitar amp mic. But I don't have my dedicated vocal mic. I use the same mic that I use for my drum overhead as our vocal mic, which is a great mic, the Shure KSM 32. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you gotta have a Neumann TLM 103 in your mic locker. Yes. I mean, come on. That is like everybody has, like, you can think of anybody from Billie Eilish to Silk Sonic. Like very, very common singing microphone. So I've always wanted that.
Yes.
And then I'm really into compressors and getting rack mounted stuff.
It's like plugins. It's basically you like having the physical little doohickeys that people used to use before Logic and Ableton can just do.
That like plugins do.
Yes.
But I want the real thing. Like, because I'm obsessed like
this.
So I want a really good bus compressor. That hopefully, I don't know, that like that really hopefully makes like the final mix just sound really nice. I don't know. Like I've really pined over getting one of these things. And I was like, I want so bad. And then I want a patch bay. A patch bay is like this really like, it's not too expensive. It's like under $100, but it helps you kind of, instead of separately patching.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You've seen it. It's the thing with a lot of holes that kind of gives you tryptophobia a little bit.
Yes.
But it's like, but then like you see crazy people, like people with a lot. They're quarter-inch
wires
snake
everywhere.
wires with different colors are just everywhere. That's what I want, because I'm starting to have that many rack equipments.
But okay,
how does it feel for you with my gas? And I'll tell you how it feels for me with your gas.
Your gas is like, the best way to explain it for probably even a normal person to understand is, most people know what Photoshop is, right? Photoshop is a digital program where you can like draw and paint and whatever. And then you can like draw and paint on a piece of paper or a canvas or whatever. But then if you're an artist, you know, like traditional drawing and painting tools can be, there's like student grade, there's like, well, actually there's like consumer, like Liquitex, which is and then there's like student grade stuff, and then there's like professional grade.
Yeah, we're talking about the stuff that you could get at Michael's.
Yes.
Versus the stuff that you get at your hopefully at your mom and pop art store.
Yeah.
Which is like the primo stuff. Hopefully.
Yes. And like once you like become a working professional, most of the time you're like, why have oil paints? Why have acrylics? Why have any of that like traditional media stuff that costs so much? When
Gives you brain damage.
Yes, when literally you can just trade that for what, like a $10 a month program, Photoshop. And it does everything. You can draw, you can paint, you can do things, you can edit photographs, you can do so much with it that you can't do with like a pencil and a piece of paper.
It's kind of like Logic.
Yes.
Or Ableton. Or Pro Tools.
You're in that phase of like, you're in between like student grade and like professional, and you're like, fuck the easy $300 program that can give me everything. I want to buy thousands and thousands of dollars of borderline pro grade equipment
Prosumer.
to do things the old way of like recording and like miking it up and like recording it into like a little tape machine or like a recorder thing. Is like the equivalent to someone being like, I want to use this pencil and paper and make a masterpiece that rivals Photoshop. And most people, when, especially when
How much I believe in humanity, man.
when we were doing a lot of traditional work because we were tired of just working on the computer all day at work, a lot of our peers would be like, why are you doing it that way? Thinking like, you're a crazy person. Like, it's ridiculous. But like, I understand why you are like this. It doesn't make it any less painful to see you drop thousands of dollars every time, like literally every season. I think.
Yeah.
you tell me, this is it. I'm done. I just need this one last thing. But like, you told me this when you had like, I think maybe 2 mics. How many mics do you have now?
Bro, 10.
This is like, you say you have a problem collecting like little compressors. I've realized there's not going to be an end to a music producer's obsession with mics. It's like a car person's obsession with cars. It's like,
And car parts. It's like
it's like a toy collector's obsession with Funko Pops. Like, it doesn't end. It just doesn't end.
I feel nothing. I feel nothing for Funko Pops and collecting toys and stuff, but like when I see microphones these days, okay, yeah. So when, like, I feel a lot of the same way you feel, and I feel just as much shame. A lot of shame. A lot of like, I drop in a lot of money for like this funny hobby and for the passion level that like really I shouldn't have, but this is what I want to do with my life, so let's go. But then like, you are the same way about equipment. Right now you're thinking about like what new camera is on the horizon and how to level up our product, our YouTube videos. And when you pine over that stuff, I can tell you are just as passionate about the minutia as me going on Gear Sluts and finding out what's the cheapest bus compressor I could find under $1,000. But like, for you, what perturbs me about you is like, a TLM 103 is like $800 on Reverb.
Yes.
A decent bus compressor, like an old one like Chameleon Labs,
yes,
or something like that, is like $500, $600. Like when you buy just a lens, like a prime lens, that's like $2,000. Like it just disappears. Like for me, like you say, like I drop a lot of money over the course of seasons. You drop money over a season, one season over the year. But when you do it, it's like, holy shit.
It's upsetting.
It's amazing how much money that you drop.
I think I am particularly special. I'm not special. That came out wrong. But I am not like a normal YouTuber in that like, I also have an obsession with filmmaking, like professional filmmaking. So I'm on my like learning curve for like how good can this look. Unfortunately, most people can have like not even like a B tier, like a C tier camera that you buy at like Best Buy. That's available at it's not the cameras that I want aren't available at Best Buy.
No, man.
Like right now, like I pine over RE cameras, okay? Like I know
it's like truly like you pine over the thing you truly can't have.
Yes.
Like you truly can't have. You know?
It's a problem. But like the things that are within reach, unfortunately, are still it's like $3,000 for a camera body. That doesn't include like another $3,000 for the lens that you need, and probably the like stabilization gear, like the Zhiyuns or the DJI gimbals that you need, and then the like adapters and the filters and all the things that you need. When I have gas, I go, oh no.
Oh, no. You tell me that all the time.
Not okay, because like when I want to be like, oh, I want to make a really cool music video that looks like this, and then I look into how to do it right, which is like the average, I don't know, person making a YouTube video will look at like some of the like YouTube videos and be like, oh, that's doable. No, that is not enough for me, an art center student that knows exactly the lengths you have to go. But knowing that I could just rent it. I could just rent a fucking cinema camera and like hire a DP and do all this stuff, and then I go like, do I really want to drop thousands and thousands of dollars on like a hobby?
And then the answer is always yes. And then we do it. And I hear what you're saying. It's not the gear. It's how you use it. Okay, all right, we hear you. We know what that's like. Okay, if you look back at our old videos here, right? Like we did it. We know we used the bare minimum gear, a very small point and shoot camera. That's what we started with.
Yes.
But now our tastes have developed, and our tastes are very sophisticated, and no one's imposing these tastes on us except ourselves. And we're like the only people in enabling each other is each other. So when we want these things, it's sort of like, how badly are we passionate enough for this vision of this quality that we want to do these things? And that seems like always the plight for us when we want it's always like involving something creative, like when, like for example, like buying this Xbox, One X to enjoy Modern Warfare 2. Mm-hmm. It was fine and all, but it's just like I really put that off, and I didn't feel like I needed to upgrade until like I moved here, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to like kind of upgrade my systems finally. And it feels so obligatory to like, oh, I need to buy clothes so I don't look like a college student. I needed like, my tire blew out. It's like, it's all these things that like people, like normal people, get excited by, like, oh, I get to upgrade my stuff. But then I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to invest in my hobbies because that's what I care about the most. I'd rather look like a homey college student and be happy with my gear and the art that I make than like looking really cute for my Instagram.
Yes. The problem with being a creative person is that like, as much as I would love to be a minimalist, or at the very least, I wish I had normal people priorities. I wish all I had to do was drop a few $100s a year on clothes and makeup and bullshit like that. I don't care. But like the bigger problem is like when you have the irrational need to drop $5,000 and up on creative endeavors. It's not okay. I dislike being a creative person for that reason sometimes. And I'm like, can't I just exist? Can't I be normal and like buy video games? It's like $60 is nothing when you're like dropping a few $100s on like a lens filter.
On a lens filter, a piece of glass.
Literally,
you're dropping hundreds of dollars on pieces of glass.
This is an unfortunate thing about us.
So the reason why we're talking about this now is because That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to work with what we have next year.
Yes.
Because we know things are going bad. And like, we're not even going to look at it like we're going to be able to buy more things next year. We're going to like look at it like next year's Castaway, and like maybe the next 2 to 4 years is Castaway. And we're going to work with what we got, and we're going to penny pinch as much as possible. I know it sounds really indulgent what we started with, but truly, it's like what we did was like, if we were to have the last few things in our arsenal, in our creative playground, what would it be? And that's what I describe our home. I always describe our home as like, I want it to be a creative playground. I want it to be like a place where like we can read books, we can read comics, we can read manga, we can do work in a corner, we can play video games, we can make music, we could draw, we could paint, we could rest, we could go outside, meditate, whatever. And that's always what I envision this place to be. And like, the question is now is like, if things are gonna go bad next year, which like it probably will be.
Yes.
What are the last things we would want to have, and how are we going to spend the rest of the next few years, assuming that things get tough, to get through it?
Yeah, because if you haven't heard, Disney laid off a bunch of people. A lot of tech companies are continuing to lay off people. What I'm noticing is companies are doing it in waves so that it doesn't look like what Warner Brothers did.
Yeah, and then that prevents people like us from talking.
Like,
like, oh, can you believe what's happening? And making a big old stink about it.
But
It's smart. Yeah.
Along with, I think literally the day of when we were recording our last podcast, the news that Disney started laying off people came out, and I was like, oh my god, Warner Brothers did not care. Netflix did not care. They were like, there's an incoming recession, we're not doing so well, we're going to lay off a bunch of people before the election, whatever. And then immediately after the election, Disney and a bunch of tech companies were like, bye-bye, you're kicking you out of the company, we need to save money, and like, I know you all voted for us, but like,
see ya.
Bye, we used you, okay. And so clearly it's happening, but it's not, I think it's still truly, people are not going to feel it till like next year. Like, they have the holidays to like distract them. All these video games coming out. Pokemon. Coming on.
Warzone 2.0 just came out. I tried. It was really glitchy. I don't ever know. I am of a different time. I like TDM. I like domination. Capture the flag. These simple things. This Gen Z phenomenon with survival and battle royale. Not my cup of tea, to be honest. Not my cup of tea. Because it's mostly like scurrying around and hiding.
Yeah.
And scurrying around and hiding.
Yeah.
Lasting. Not lasting. I'm just like, I want to get in the action, baby. So lots of things to distract.
Yes. Like FTX.
Oh.
So if you don't know what happened with, I barely know. Okay, it has something to do with crypto. FTX, the company, was kind of basically committed fraud. Stole a bunch of money. Something to do with donating it to the Democrats. But basically, that has taken over financial news this entire week, which is very annoying for me. I like to get my updates about inflation. I like to get my updates about the recession and the state of real estate and stuff like that. Stuff that like actually matters to the average human being. I was looking at all this FTX news, and I'm like, I don't care, and I don't really care to know, because it doesn't affect me. It might, in the scheme of things, affect me, but like, it doesn't affect people's jobs. It doesn't affect people, like the gas prices and the groceries and all that stuff. So I was really kind of annoyed, because again, it proved me right that, okay, after the election, you said you wanted to fix the economy, you said you wanted to like help people. Clearly we saw that people went out to vote specifically because of inflation. They wanted a better someone to deal with what's going on, and abortion and all that stuff. But then so quickly, the week after, all of that is ignored. No one's talking about like how bad it's going to be and what they're going to do to fix things now that they're in office. They're talking about FTX, which I'm pretty sure the average person does not care. I don't hear anybody when we're just living our daily life, getting coffee at our favorite coffee place, getting groceries. No one's talking about FTX. So I was just like, okay, so I was right again. They're not going to do anything. They're going to like push all your concerns under the rug. And you're kind of shit out of luck.
I mean, to be fair, after this election, it just seems like everyone went on vacation.
Yeah.
It really seemed like everyone's checked out. Like, okay, done.
The year is over.
The year is over. And really, it like, you know, I remember the last election vividly. Things didn't start ramping up again until February. And I'm talking about like end of February. We're talking about like, you know, things are winding down. You know, stories are winding down. People want to like relax. Thanksgiving's next week. This week? Next week.
Yes.
Thanksgiving's next week. Really?
Yes.
Okay, I think Thanksgiving's next week, and after that, I mean December.
Yes.
Everyone, a lot of people are feeling senioritis. I'm not saying I feel senioritis. I love working really hard. I know certain people. I know certain people who feel senioritis. They're like, oh, it's the end of the year. It's getting cold. It's snowing. I mean, if you're in Burbank, it's really cold, and you just want to slow down. You know, if I were to have a desert island coffee, it wouldn't be Starbucks. It wouldn't be a coffee bean. It would be coffee brand coffee. If the whole thing collapsed next year, if there's one silver lining I can have in the morning, it's my cup of coffee brand coffee.
If you would like 5% off your entire order, enter Honey and Absinthe at checkout at the link down below.
That's right.
It helps this podcast out. And save some money on coffee.
Oh, enjoy your coffee, people pleasers. You know where to put it.
Since everyone is ignoring your problems,
yes,
and you at this point should know that there's going to be an incoming, at least, recession that everyone's talking about.
And if you don't believe us, what harm is there to even just like think about and prepare a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to share a step-by-step guide. A cheapskate's guide to saving money. Janet's intense guide to saving money. Because I can go really like too far. Okay, so the first step, if you want to survive the great 2023 depression, is to get rid of all your debt. Again, it's like spending money now so that it helps you save money later. Pay off your student loans, pay off your credit card debt. Don't get that Xbox on layaway, whatever you call it. What's it called? Don't finance your purchases during Black Friday. Only spend money that you have. If you don't have any money, tough luck. Don't buy anything on Black Friday.
All these things that we want to buy, we're gonna buy it on cash in hand.
Yes.
We're not gonna put it on our credit card. Like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and just leave it to the credit. No.
Yes. If you are going to spend money, put it on a credit card, but make sure you pay it off completely. Don't like do the thing like, I have like a payment. I only need to pay $25. No, that's how they get you. Rich people don't do this. They just buy it. They don't finance things. So get rid of all your debt. Once you get rid of all your debt, you have more money in the long run. The next time you get your paycheck, you have all this money you don't have to pay to like your credit card companies or your student loan payment and all that stuff.
You want to be free.
Yes.
You don't want anybody's mouth to feed. You don't want like some debt to pay. You want to be free. If you're going to feel a depression, the best thing you could do is free yourself from any kind of debt, because that's just sort of like a debuff. You know, like in RPGs, it's like a stat. You don't want something leeching off of you as you're feeling pain. You don't want something leeching off of you as you're fighting a big boss in Elden Ring. That's not fun.
I think the best way that like really made me take it seriously was hearing that if you have any sort of debt, you know, when you hear like, oh, Elon Musk has like is the richest man on the planet. This is his net worth, all that stuff. Your net worth when you have debt is negative. So think about that. If you derive validation from stuff like that, if you have debt, you are in the negative, you're in the red, versus someone, even a child who has like $5 is like $5 more positive than you. So like, yeah, I am attacking your self-worth. once you have
For your own good.
For your own good. I do this to myself. Once you have gotten rid of as much debt as you can, you then sell all the things you don't need. I continuously do this on a regular basis. I sell things on eBay. We sell things on Craigslist. We get rid of anything. Like, I had a really bad period once upon a time where I was like overdoing it, and I was like asking you if I could sell this, I can sell that. I was selling everything, and you're like, no, don't do that. It's our precious item. We have, because we're strange, we have things that have some value to creative people, and it just sits there taking up space. Oftentimes, if we, like, for example, like oil paint, I've been wanting to sell our oil paint sets for the longest time.
No. All you gotta do is put some like linseed oil just to wake it up. It's like, no.
And then
it lasts forever is what I'm saying. It's never gonna
sometimes.
depreciate. It's never gonna
and then after you sell everything that you can't tie down, and you can bring yourself to, like, this is bad. I will sell things that only have like a few dollars of monetary value, but like it means something to me to have that extra dollars. After you sell everything,
you feel like you've won. You feel like you have that bit of satisfaction. Yeah. Like, I just gamed the system by $2.
Yes, you gave me that $2.
You gave me that $2.
I didn't have this $2 prior.
But all I had to do is take up my time mailing out this thing.
Yeah.
$2 plus $2. That's like going into, like, you know, Pallet Town and fighting like level 2 Rattata and getting like 13 XP and going like, yes, I did it.
I'm the kind of person that plays Pokemon and never rejects a battle ever. I
would always run.
No,
because I thought it was annoying, but I didn't know it was part of the game. I didn't know you were supposed to fight every interaction, kind of. And, like, running is for when, like, you're weak and all your Pokemon are weak and you're trying to struggle to get to the Pokemon Center.
I'm the kind of person that never spends money in video games. And whenever we play Borderlands together, I would always somehow have, like, an enormous amount of money early game, and you'd have nothing. And you're like, I don't understand. How did this happen? And then you just observe me playing the game with you, and I literally, while you're off fighting something, I'm like, ooh, look at this shiny thing. Oh, I'm picking up stuff over there. And I'm never spending money on anything because I'm like, I'll just pick up a weapon later. Yes. In the wild. And it works. After you sell everything, don't reduce your cost of living. So your cost of living is like how much it costs to rent an apartment.
Pick one streaming service.
Yes.
What's your desert island streaming service, Janet Chan?
Crunchyroll.
Really?
Yeah, I've changed it recently. It's Crunchyroll. I am obsessed. I have been on an anime starvation diet for like, I would say like 2 years now.
Oh, you couldn't bear to look at big eyes and cutesy kawaii stuff.
I couldn't bear to look at cartoons for a while. But since I am forever a weeb, for whatever, I don't know why, I was like, I kind of miss anime. Like, it's been long enough. And I was like, okay, finally, let's get a Crunchyroll subscription because I can't bear to give Disney money and get Hulu. So we got Crunchyroll, and I was like, I watched one episode, and I thought, like, it was like a night of binging, maybe 3 different, like, we do this thing where we watch what's it called?
The pilot. The
pilot of things until we find a good anime that we feel like we can binge. And then I was like, oh no. All I had to do was watch one episode. And then I am like into season 2 of certain anime. I'm like,
Sure.
I'm into, I think, Classroom of the Elite or something like that.
Why are you into Classroom of the Elite?
It reminds me of my education growing up, both in grade school and in college. It is. I'm starting to wonder if college gave me PTSD, and I'm just like unaware. It's very accurate to how human beings actually are. I like Spy X Family.
Oh, it's so good. So good. I think the shonen sensation is the Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is very good.
Yes.
And here's my humble opinion about Chainsaw Man. It seems as though we're going through this thing. Like, for example, when we were growing up in college, anime was really bad.
Yes.
And we thought it was really bad because that sword art genre of, putting on a VR thing and going into your second life, it was every anime, and we had it. So the overarching genre in anime, it seems like, is this like urban demon hunting adventure.
Yes.
It was like the best of Bleach.
Yes.
Before you go to the spirit world and it's like not so good anymore. But for example, Jujutsu Kaisen is like, to me, reminds me of the best of Bleach. But the problem is with Jujutsu Kaisen is the protagonist is really boring.
Yes.
First of all, because he's just perfect.
And unearned, yeah.
And he's like perfect and it's unearned how perfect he is. He's already perfect the way he is, and then when he gets that demon thing inside of him, it's like he's like double as perfect. So it's like, why should I give a shit? And then but like it feels like the best of Bleach, but it doesn't feel like it goes further than that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Chainsaw Man does.
Really
it's like the best of Bleach,
yes.
but then kind of hams it up, dials it to 11, and makes it modern.
Yeah.
Anime
is really good this season.
It's really strong.
Yeah.
But IMO, Spy X Family is like just different. It's just different. It's like, I keep telling you that the appeal of Spy Family is that it preys on especially the people with bad family life. And then you watch Spy X Family, and then you go like, fuck, why isn't my family like this?
Or I want to make a family like this.
There's like this video of Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire going like, I think anime is satanic.
Oh my god.
I think it's right. You told me this, right?
I don't remember.
You told me that there was a video going around that Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire thinks anime is satanic.
I believe you. I probably just don't remember.
But like, we should like hashtag Matt Walsh watches Spy X Family. Because like, how could you not like this? Like, I really think that this is kind of the most wholesome it can get. There's hardly any I would get embarrassed if there was what did you call that, fan service stuff.
Yes.
This anime doesn't have that. I think it's really just wholesome, and like it preys on like the perfect family idea. It's really, really cute.
Yes.
It's really sweet, and the characters, like, I remember watching the pilot going like, why do people like this? This isn't cool, because it's like, it's Lloyd, and then it's Anya, and then like it's like, like, oh, he adopts this girl, like, oh, I guess that's kind of cute, and she has telepathy, and he's a really serious like James Bond dude, and like you don't think much of it. And we started watching Chainsaw Man, we go like, oh, this is really good, this is like Jujutsu Kaisen but 10 times better, and it's like really elevating the shonen genre.
Oh my god.
And then like, right?
Yes.
Right, that's exactly what we said about Chainsaw Man. And then we like watched the second episode of Spy X Family, and then the Lloyd's hilarious, not self-aware wife who's an assassin is introduced, and it's just like, oh, this show is like a family show, and they're like struggling to be a family, and it's like the family dynamic, anywhere from like the neighbors gossiping about how your husband could be like cheating on you, to like, a wife's sort of self-consciousness about being a good wife. Right. And I just feel like, boy, Spy X Family is something different, man. Like, really, just something different.
So yes, Crunchyroll. I think I would I'm such a weeb at heart that like I can't escape it even if I wanted to, that I would have such a great time if we canceled every single streaming service but Crunchyroll. I can't
my choice is still Criterion Collection.
I don't even like when you ask like, oh, we should watch Simpsons while we eat, I'm like, no, let's watch anime.
It tickles me every single time we watch The Simpsons, but I just understand it's nostalgia. Like, Janet hasn't watch Simpsons
don't
for
have the
for
nostalgia.
like 8 years growing up. She just thinks these episodes are kind of like, oh, that's cool,
fun,
I guess. But like, this is like, I see so much of who I am and my values when I watch season 6 of The Simpsons. I go like, oh shit, that's where I got. That's like this is where I got everything from.
You are Bart and Homer put together. I'm just Lisa.
Yes, Shannon's just
I'm
Lisa.
just Lisa. So yes, reduce your cost of living. Stop going out to eat. This is a big problem because of
Cancel your Disney Plus. We know you don't use it.
We have a really hard time not going out to eat because of you. Sometimes because of me, but
Dude,
like
last night. What happened last night? What was I whining about last night?
You are addicted to chicken nuggets right now for some reason.
I haven't eaten McDonald's in like a year and a half because I was like, oh, I swear McDonald's, I don't like McDonald's, right? But like, growing up, I like ordered 20-piece chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce, large fries all the time. That's my jam. But growing, like, it's sort of like when you eat your favorite thing for too long, and then you just don't want to eat it anymore. But like, man, the McDonald's here in Prescott, like, every time I get a chicken nugget, there's never that chicken nugget with, like, you have that chicken nugget and there's like that thick bit of crap that you just spit out. like that gummy with chicken thing, and sometimes it just feels like it's cold. It's never like that here. And with the fries, I mean, if you eat it fast, especially since it's cold, if you eat it fast enough, it's like, it tastes like it's fresh. It's like not like how it is where it's like LA, when it's like soggy and just no good anymore.
There's something about the fast food in every other state but California. People like do their job, and like they like it too. Like, I've never gone to a fast food restaurant and been treated poorly outside of California. And
I've seen a lot of like new people who like this is their first, but like most of the time it's like people trying to do their best, and it's like they give us good service.
But oh my god, the reason why, like, you thought I was bougie about like eating out. Like, if I ate out in LA, I had to not go to like a McDonald's because like fast food in LA is bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad. It's really bad. If I'm gonna eat out, I can't do that to myself. I have to like go to at least like a half decent burger place. Like at least like In-N-Out is my bare minimum. Here, like, it's surprising how fresh the chicken nuggets are. So you're like,
so like, can I tell both stories?
Okay.
So one day, I've been hankering for fat late in the evenings. I don't know what it is. That's why we watched Black Adam, because one day I was like, I want popcorn. We're going to watch Black Adam right now. And then like there's this one random day where I was playing Call of Duty and you were doing something. Oh wait, no, it was like we did a lot of work during the day, and I just wanted dopamine up the ass. So I was like, okay, I just want chicken nuggets. And then you were like, I don't want chicken nuggets. Like, I don't care. I just want chicken nuggets. So we go, and the nearest McDonald's is like 10 minutes away, right? About 10 minutes, 7 minutes. So we go to the McDonald's, and then the first thing I see is a picture of a mountain of chicken nuggets with two things of large fries, and I was just like, that's exactly what I was picturing in my head. And then right when I had that thought, the guy was like, or whoever it was, like the attendant was like, oh, hello, what would you like? And then I was like, I want that. And then I heard a tinge of hesitation of like, are you sure you want that? And I was like, yes, I want that. And they were like, okay. And they typed it in, and I was like, is that what you want? And then they have this big old screen, and it shows you what you just ordered. And what I just ordered was 40-piece chicken nuggets with 4 large fries. And then, like, I didn't hear anything from you. You were talking about something.
I was probably looking at Twitter or something.
Yeah, and then you were like talking about like how ridiculous things are on Twitter. And then I looked at it and it was just like, oh, that's a lot. And then I told the guy, that's exactly what I want. Okay, thank you. And then we proceed to go into the drive-thru, And then we sit there for what it seems to be like 15 minutes. And then you get kind of confused after 12 minutes after talking to me about how crazy Twitter is.
Yes.
And going like, man, we've been here for a while. What's going on? And I was just like, it's late.
Okay.
And then like Janet was like, oh, okay. And then like the guy was like, here's your order. And I go profusely, thank you so much. You're the best. This is exactly what I need. And I take the thing and I give it to you. And then I quickly, like, legit go, vroom, like, drive away. And then go in and then, like, go proceed to go on our way home. And then you go, like, why is this so big? I told you I don't want any chicken nuggets. And then I told you, it's because 40 chicken nuggets are in there.
And I was like, why? Why did you order 40 chicken nuggets? And you're like, you didn't stop me. And
I told you, why didn't you stop me?
And I was like, I heard you go, I want the chicken nugget bundle. And then I thought, I was like, do in my head, I guess that's what they call a chicken nugget combo these days. And then I was like, oh God, how much food did you order? And you're like, well, I just saw that picture was a mountain of chicken nuggets, and that's what I wanted, so I ordered that. And I was like, okay. And like we come back home, and I open up the bag, and it's so much worse than I thought it was gonna be. I was like, oh my God, it's 40 nuggets, and it's 4 large fries. This is a meal for 4 people. And I told you I didn't want any. So you're supposed to sit there and eat 40 nuggets and 4 large fries all by yourself. And I'm supposed to just sit there and watch you.
She didn't eat a single chicken nugget, man. That night I ate 22 chicken nuggets. And I was so sure I was going to throw away the rest of them. I was like, felt so guilty. But I woke up the next morning and I ate the rest of the chicken nuggets. So that was 3 weeks ago. Today, was that 2 weeks ago?
It was recent. It was pretty recent. It was about like last week.
Last week. And now, last night I was like, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of painting, and then I did a lot of supplementary stuff for our personal projects, and it was a lot. And I was like, Janet, there's nothing that you can tell me that's going to stop me from going to McDonald's.
I was like, don't do it.
And ordering 20-piece chicken nuggets.
You.
And then I was like, I want it in my mouth. Do you understand?
I was like, no. And you got so upset. I was like, fine, but you have to go by yourself this time.
And I'm like, okay, fine. So I go by myself. Service was great as usual. Got my 20-piece chicken nuggets. Went back home. Gobbled them up while watching Janet play Elden Ring and ate a ton of fries. Oh, it was so delicious. But literally 30 minutes later, I felt a tummy ache. I had like a stomach cramp. And then I took like the gnarliest poop. And then I was like, oh, okay. I think...
The whole time.
I think this is it, man. I think I don't want to chip McDonald's for another year and a half, man. I think I'm good. I think that's it. Because when it hurts me, it's easier to quit. Because every time I think about wanting the pleasure, I think about the pain, and I go like, maybe not. Maybe not. That's kind of exactly how I feel about Panda. I haven't hankered for Panda because every time I have Panda here, I get tummy ache.
You kept saying, why don't you stop me?
I told you last night after I went number 2, I was like, why don't you stop me? In jest, of course, because I know Janet's trying to stop me.
I'm constantly trying to stop you from doing these things. And being a good libertarian, I go like, well, if you really want to, if you want to
clog your arteries, go ahead, husband.
And then every time you're like, you were right.
I hurt myself.
You were right. Yeah. So maybe don't eat out so much because it most likely will hurt you. We have this challenge that we have yet to succeed in doing because you're like, it's the holidays, in the new year.
Yeah.
My
starts
goal,
in the new year.
My goal is to eat out only once a month.
Oh yeah.
One time a month. If I were like alone, like I grew up with parents that hated spending money at all, so like I swear I didn't eat out. Our family didn't eat out except for like maybe once a season. Like I don't like my parents wanted to save money that badly. Like, that's how, I think if I got used to it, I would be capable of doing that again. But then, like, you're like, oh, I got money, I work in animation. Why do that to ourselves?
Let's go to Farm Provisions.
Let's spend lots of money.
Drop money on a New York cut of steak, and then crab cakes, and then grilled shrimp on a skewer with truffle butter. Because I can. Because I grew up in LA, and I was just some kid, and my parents didn't make that much money, so the best that we could get was going to Chinatown. And fast forward 3 years later, I'm here, and I've never had a good cut of meat in my life.
And you're like, let's do it every weekend.
Let's do it every weekend.
You and I grew up very differently in terms of our diet. I grew up on, like, no sugar, no salt, no fat, no fast food, just, like, rice and fish and broccoli every single day.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Eggos, Lay's, and Tang orange juice,
yes,
and Spam, rice, eggs, corned beef. Let's go.
You told me when you were little,
sugar and ketchup.
You would just sit there and play video games or watch TV with, like, a giant bag of, like, Lay's.
I would watch
Ruffles.
Starship Troopers, the animated TV show, cartoon CG thing, and I'd have a big thing of, like, Lay's, and I just sit there and watch it and go, like, ain't this the life? I'm like, summer times, that was like every summer when I was a kid, I watched reruns and just eat potato chips, and it was the life, man. And then I met Janet, and she was like, you should be healthy, and I was like, what is this healthy? And then Janet was like, you get so much more energy when you exercise, and I was like, you are crazy. How can you possibly get energy from expending energy on a treadmill? It sounds absolutely insane.
You told me when growing up, your family would, like, every time you're like, maybe I should be healthy and lose weight, they'd, like, immediately buy, like, McDonald's and put it in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, that's cruel. Why do people do this to each other?
It's because we're enabling each other.
You can't get thin. You have to be fat like me. So, like, our relationship is this constant battle of, like, let's be healthy, and you're like, sure, and then you're like, let's eat out, and I'm like,
I'm the demon in this relationship.
Yes,
if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you are. I
am the demon,
the enemy that I have to fight.
I enable you. I tempt you all the time.
All the time.
Thai food. Thai food, we work so hard for it. Thai food. Cannolis. Neapolitan cannolis. We work so hard for it. You deserve a treat. Let's
I'm
a demon.
Chai lattes. I go, like, God damn you. Why do you do this to me?
And I'm not gonna lie, there's some sick satisfaction I get from seeing poor innocent Janet succumb to my whims.
You're so cruel. You do the Inception thing. You go, like, Thai food? And then I go, what?
I go like, so when are we gonna get Thai food?
And I go, when did I say we were getting Thai food?
Oh, I'm sorry. Must have been my imagination. I'm so awful. I'm such an awful person. But this is how
you were raised.
We get Thai food.
Oh my god. So yes, it has been difficult for me ever since I became not single. But it's a balancing act. I enjoy life a little bit better now, but, like, there's a part of me that wishes I can just be cruel to myself and, like, not eat.
I'm a bad boy, but Janet can be so like, so much. That, like, it's so much so fast. She can turn it off like this.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to eat out. She'll go like, bam. I won't. And then I try, like, yes. Just like Anya. Like, yeah, me too. And then I go like, but I want McDonald's. Don't you see?
Oh, I can, like, if I wanted to, I could just, like, in, like, winter at Prescott, not turn on the heater if I chose to. I just bundle up and be like, this is fine. Lower your cost of living, get roommates, Don't eat out.
Move back with your parents or some shit. I don't know.
Meal prep. Like, if I wanted to, I could literally survive off of a bag of rice and chicken. And meal prep bland chicken for like months on end. I could do it. But you will not let me. But you could do that. If you're truly broke, you would be surprised how, like, the lengths you could go on meal prep food and not actually buying McDonald's every day. You could put out, like, this is what my mom does, and I didn't realize, like, people here in Prescott do this all the time because apparently it's like a country thing where you, like, conserve water. You put out like a barrel, and then off of rainwater it, like, drips into the barrel, and then you have all this water that you can use for, like, watering the grass or washing things or whatever. But, like, the people here, they were, like, trying to educate us dumb city folk about, like, oh yes, we, like, use our gray water, and, like, we have, like, barrels to, like, keep water and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I know. And because, like, my mom does this. My parents are, like, strange country bumpkin people who know, like, very, like, my mom, she doesn't even use, like, the stuff that you're supposed to buy. Like, you're supposed to buy these things and, like, hook it up to your house, and, like, and it's like, it won't, like, what's the word? It won't conserve, like, bad water. But, like, my mom made some kind of contraption on the side of my childhood home that, like, just captures rainwater, and she, like, manufactured weird pipes out of our washing machine into the lawn, and, like, we have to, like, step over it all the time in order to not trip over it in the backyard. And I don't think you knew what that was.
I don't know. I just assumed, like, oh, that's for the laundry. Strange that it's out here. Very DIY situation. But, like, my parents' home had strange DIY situations, too.
My parents' own home has, like, weird contraptions that my mom or my dad has DIY'd themselves to, like, function in certain funny ways. But,
and they're like, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it. Yeah. So, like, you can save water by doing stuff like that. Like, people in, like, the Midwest just know how to do. But, like, people in the city don't do. The bills that you have to...
What do I pay? That's what I pay taxes for, man.
Yeah.
A lot of money on taxes for, man.
A lot of people in the city don't realize your bills are crazy. Out here, the bills are so cheap. It's so cheap. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Man, there's, like, somebody I knew from France who was just like, oh yeah, in France they just, like, pick up your dog shit for you. And I was like, the taxpayers have to pay for that, though.
Yeah.
They have to, like, that's money coming out of your pocket for some food to pick. All you have to do is, like, scoop up your dog shit.
Yes.
But that, like, what about, like, that instead of, like, having the people pay for somebody to scoop your dog shit? You pay for scooping up you scoop your own dog shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. But then you don't have to get taxed to get people to scoop
your dog shit.
Yeah, like, that's ridiculous.
So it gets crazy and exorbitant, you know, no matter where you look.
Yes. So, like, when I was being a super penny pincher, I had student loans I hadn't paid off. You had quit your job recently to pursue animation. I had just gotten my animation job. I was like, okay, let's turn on super money saver mode. I learned that the two biggest cost of living things in your life ever is going to be your housing, and then it's going to be your food. There truly wasn't anything at that point we could do to make our housing cheaper. We were already living in a studio apartment, the two of us, and it was pretty cheap and close to work, and I wasn't going, like, I understand the trade-off of, like, living 2 hours away from work and like, you can probably find a really cheap apartment that way, but, like, the amount of time and convenience and happiness it saves you by living close to work and paying more for. So that's something I'm not willing to do. Time is money to me. So I was like, okay, well, we had our living situations kind of fixed. It's not like we can get an extra roommate. So it was like, how do we save money for food? So you go to your discount grocery store I don't want you spending money at Whole Foods. What are you doing on that organic bullshit? You go to like Food for Less. You go to Aldi.
It all ends up in the toilet anyway,
yes.
man.
I remember one of our friends was like, "Ew, you shop at Food for Less?" I was like, "What's wrong with Food for Less?"
With that, dude?
I get like
Food for Less is where you get cheap alcohol, man. Like Food for Less is the way.
You get everything you normally get at a.
That's some like you're not from LA bullshit.
Yes.
Man. Jesus.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's how you spend $100 like a month on groceries.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I would go.
How dare you say that to me?
I made it like I gamified how little our groceries bill would come out to at the end, and I would like meal prep. This is how I became a semi-decent cook. I learned how to meal prep, and because you're particularly picky because you grew up on like, McDonald's and stuff, I was like, challenge accepted. I will figure out how to make the blandest of food taste good and be cheap and all that stuff. So I go to like Food for Less, meal prep, and like you do kind of have to like limit your options. You have to be like, I am willing to eat chicken for like most of the week and not have variety.
Man, I remember when we used to live in this tiny little studio apartment in Burbank, and then we would have crock pot chicken.
Yes.
Which is just like Food for Less salsa.
Yes.
And cheap cuts of chicken breast, and you put it in a crock pot, and then you eat it with rice.
Yep.
Brown rice. Cheap brown rice. And then I remember thinking like, this is fine. I felt like I was kind of like LARPing the experience of like, yeah, I'm living that like starving artist life, man.
Yeah.
This is the way.
It got to a point where like I learned that you save a lot of money every year if you just go vegetarian. And I told you this, and you're like, no. That's where I put my foot down. You are not going vegetarian just to save money. Like it's for me. It's not to save the animals. It's not to save the planet. It's to save money. I could, if I were alone, I would. If I didn't have you to force me to not do that. Yeah.
I need meat.
So
you live in Arizona. Could you not eat the meat?
I would become a Buddhist monk if I could. But, so yes, reduce your cost of living, and to a certain point, you can, as far as you can go, saving money. There's really no way to go any further, and the only way you can continue to like have more money is to increase your income. Yes, obviously, but that's not like get a better job or whatever. It's like develop a side hustle that makes you money, or do some kind of thing for passive income to make you money. Get a second job that is more than just like a menial labor job, unless that job pays you a lot of money. So like a lot of people do Uber, eBay. I don't mean to sound like Gary Vee, but like yard selling and eBay is great.
eBay is dope.
Yes.
Like if you get into the eBay thing, I think about like, oh yeah, like if you did the Uber thing, or you had some like, and then supplemented it with the eBay stuff. Oh man, eBay can get crazy. If you go to like an estate sale and get a good haul, and then you sell it on eBay, it's insane. It's amazing. Like it's amazing every time we put stuff up, and we're like, I don't know if you're gonna want this, and then like there's like people just want stuff.
Recently, it hasn't been as good, which is like a telltale sign that the economy is going bad, because I've never seen eBay as slow as it is right now. And I was like, whoa, things are not good. People don't have money.
You've been doing eBay for the past 2 years on and off, basically.
Yeah.
And this is the slowest it's been.
It's been, yeah. So it's scary. But like, yeah, simple things like that. Sell your own, like, I got into eBay by selling our things. I was so shocked that, like, yet again, Gary Vee was right. Every time I listen to him, I go like, oh, I'm one of like the rare people that actually does. He always says this. Like, I always repeat the same goddamn things all the time. People say, oh, you don't say anything new, because you never do it. He's like, you never listen to me. And I know that. I'm like, I will actually take his advice and go like, okay, let's see if this works. And then it does. And I go like, wow.
So it's that easy. Huh?
Yeah, so it's that easy to like make. This is why, like, when people give me shit for like, oh, like, good luck finding a new job, I'm like, dude, you don't understand how easy it is for me to make money. Like, you and I put together are like really good at coming up with Ed and Eddie schemes to make money. Like, we're oddly like that.
I like that. Ed and Eddie schemes. It's very much like that.
When you are broke, it's amazing how that like your inability to go do anything actually makes a creative person really, really productive. And I think what I'm going to do to get through the whole recession, depression period of like really bad economy is to buckle down and to just be really productive. If I can't eat and if I can't like buy anything, then all I can, and I can't travel, I can't do anything. All I can do is like sit at home and entertain myself, I guess, which is like, as a creative person, what we've been doing
like the best thing
since we were babies
to do.
So I think it's like make it a challenge. Like, you can't go to the movies, you can't watch anything because you don't have any streaming services, you can't eat, you just have to sit there and starve.
And if you want to watch something, wait for it to go to be available in your local library.
Or
it's not like you can't watch Wakanda Forever. You just have to wait 3 months. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like
how hard is that?
We will take advantage of our local video rental store. That still exists. If I know it's hard to believe, but like that still exists. There's Redbox if you don't have a local rental store. But like, I'm like, man, I don't need if I wanted to keep up with the whole Disney stuff, I don't have to watch it immediately. I could just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. And then go to our local
Safeway and then go to the Redbox, and it costs $1. All you had to do is just wait 3 months.
Yeah.
Easy.
And in that 3 months, you could just draw.
Stagger it. Watch the movies that you haven't seen in the past 3. Yeah,
there's
just like go through the entire list of movies you wanted to watch, just 3 monds behind. That's all.
Watch old movies.
Oh my goodness.
There's like decades of cinema that is much better than modern day cinema, and then there's world cinema, and there's so much that you can watch that's not deep. Not the latest Marvel movie. And then like, I'm so excited to pretend like we have absolutely no money and to like live like a broke college student again, like, because that's my default. Like, I've been trying to convince you, but like, it's holidays. I understand. I don't mean to guilt trip you guys too.
We're just giving you some things to think about and our approaches to it. We're not saying you should do this, but it's something to think about. Yeah,
we're gonna enjoy the rest of this year living like lavishly, in my opinion.
Living like it's 2019.
Yes.
And
then next year.
Yeah, we're gonna live like
we're monks.
The 1930s or something.
This episode we're recommending Castaway, because that's exactly how you should be living soon.
Yes. Yes.
Make up an imaginary friend. You can't go out with friends. Make friends with Wilson.
It's the little things like making fire.
Yes. Learn a new skill like making fire.
Yes, learn a new skill.
While you're stranded on a deserted island.
How many skills have we learned since the pandemic?
Oh my god, so many. We were talking about how many skills we've acquired since the pandemic happened compared to the average person, and I was like, oh yeah. I do oddly have a lot of random skills now that I didn't have 2 years ago. If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons. Check out these episodes to binge all our other episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye!